In this video we're going to change fractions to decimals, but this time we're going to have a look at decimals which are going to be repeated. So let's have a look at these different ways of converting fractions. Some decimals will go on forever. If the numbers are repeated after the decimal point, it's called a repeating decimal. For example, this 0.333 with 3 dots after it means that 0.3 is going to be repeated over and over and over again. That 3 forever and ever and ever. Some different notation happens sometimes. If we have a dot above a number, in this case there is a dot above the 5 and a dot above the 1, this means that 5 and that 1 are going to be repeated forever and ever. The last little bit of notation that might be worthwhile is by seeing a line above a series of numbers. That line means that those three numbers are going to be repeated over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. These are just some different ways of showing repeated decimals, but let's have a look at some examples of some fractions to decimals that actually end up being repeated decimals. These three examples are going to lead to repeated decimal answers. So I'm going to start with 1/3, and I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 1 divide into 3 parts? Or how many times does 3 go into 1? That's an easier way of saying it. Well, 3 doesn't go into 1, so what I need to do is put a 0 above the 1 and ask myself, how many times does 3 go into 10? Well, 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 remaining, so I need to add another 0, and I ask myself the same question. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 remaining, and 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 remaining, and you can see a pattern forming here where it's going to keep going on forever and ever. So with my decimal point in the correct space, I can say that 1/3 is the same as 0.3 repeater with a little dot above the first 3. I don't need to keep writing out my 3's. Another way of writing it is 0.333 and then have like 3 dots after it. That means that those 3's are going to continue on. Those are the two ways of writing repeating decimals. Let's take a look at our second example, 2/9, which means 2 divided by 9. I need to work out how many times 9 will go into 2. This is going to be a repeated decimal as well. So 9 goes into 2 0 times, and I'm going to put a little decimal point after my 2. And 9 goes into 22 times, because 9 2s are 18, with a remainder of 2. And again, 9 goes into 22 times with a remainder of 2, and it goes into 2 times, and again, it keep going on forever and ever and ever. So a way to write this number, 2/9, is 0.2 repeater. Or if you wanted to, 0.222 with 3 dots after it. I'm going to end with 1/7. This lovely little fraction down here. 1 divided by 7 is what the fraction means. I need to work out how many times 7 goes into 1. And the interesting thing about this one is it is going to repeat, but it's going to need a few numbers before it starts repeating again. So I'll put a few zeros down, and here's my division. 7 goes into 1 0 times, and now I ask myself how many times 7 goes into 10. It goes into it once with 3 left over, and 7 into 3 goes 4 times, because 7 4s are 28 with 2 left over. 7 into 20 goes 2 times with 6 left over, and 7 goes into 68 times with 4 left over. 7 goes into 45 times with 5 left over, and 7 goes into 50 7 times with 1 left over. And now I'm asking myself the same question as I did at the start. How many times does 7 go into 10, which is once, with a remainder of 3? 7 goes into 30 4 times with a remainder of 2. And I could keep going here, but I don't need to. I know that every number between my 1 and my 7 is going to be repeated. So here's how I write that. I write 0.142857. Those are the numbers that I'm going to keep getting repeated. I need to put a decimal, a repeating point up atop the 1 and above the 7. And that means to repeat every number from 1 to 7 over and over and over again forever. And that's how you write 1/7. Good luck. So what should you write? Well, the three examples that I just went through and how I got my repeated decimal answers is a really good way to start. Make sure that you have the fraction, the working out, and the answer in your notes. And that's it for today. So hopefully now you can change fractions to decimals and get a repeated answer and not have any problems. Good luck.